All right, so we're getting ready to get on the cruise ship and head into Vietnam, Thailand, Singapore, and then on to the Philippines. I hope you will subscribe and follow our journey. It gets much more informative than just the last few trying to just get to the cruise ship. But here's a few things you should know if you're coming to Asia. One, Vietnam, you must have a visa to get into Vietnam. And sometimes it can be difficult to fill out, especially on cruises, because the cruise ports they give you do not match the ports that are on the Vietnam form. So if you're going to do this, call your cruise company and tell them you have to have the exact information you need to fill out your visa, because I also don't have anything in there for cruises specifically, which is kind of crazy because a lot of people go to Vietnam on cruises. But anyways, one word advice. Second thing, you must have an entry card to get into Singapore, and you can only do that 3 days in advance. So make sure that you have the ability to get online. Otherwise, you have to do it when you get there at the customs. Um, when you're at customs, and that can be difficult and it takes time. You have to get out of the line to do it because you didn't know about it. So just try to make sure that you do that. Also, before you leave, of course, anywhere out of country, check that your credit cards do not charge a foreign transaction fee. Two, that they have a reasonable rate of exchange. And I have found on my business card, my Spark business card, that I have found on my Spark business card that they give a much better rate of exchange if I charge in the currency of the nation I'm in rather than in dollars. So I did one in dollars and they dinged me hard on the exchange rate. I do it in the currency of the country and I barely get dinged at all. That's almost exactly the exchange amount. Another thing to check on is the policies of your phone company on international calling, roaming, texting, all of that. So I know our company just while I'm here changed their information, their rates, and where they will do roaming. So, but it's pretty cheap anymore compared to before. But one thing you can do almost anywhere is you can buy a SIM card for that country and put the SIM card in and just use data with the SIM card. Now, my wife can't make phone calls or text with that SIM card, but she has all the data she wants at a really cheap rate for here in the Philippines. So that works really well. And I bring this up because of the only 3-day notice you have before you can do your entry card into Singapore, and the same thing's true with the Philippines. You have to fill out an entry form for the Philippines, and you can't do it more than 3 days in advance. And if you decide to come to Camigan Island, which we have a lot of video on, it's a gorgeous place to come to and vacation and visit. If you decide to come to Camigan Island, you have to get what they call a QR code. It's an entire form you have to fill out and get a QR form, and you will have to show it multiple times while you're on the island. If you're going running around doing stuff, which why else would you come here? So those are just different little things that you do need to know before traveling to this part of the world.